The 28mm, what stands out to me is that it does have all of those optical imperfections. This is like my 5th attempt at recording this, and I'm just rambling. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Giovanni and I'm a photographer here in New Jersey. So this past week, I took the 28mm and the Nikon Zf, along with some other lenses, into New York City. I wanted to see if these compact lenses can deliver high-end results. Now, spoiler, they do deliver really good results. However, it's not without its own issues, but more on that later. Now, this video is not sponsored, so if you want to support the channel and see more content like this, please like the video and hit that subscribe button so that we can continue growing this community. This past week, I went into New York City with my friend Archie, and we tried our hands at some street photography. You know, I haven't done street photography in a while, so I'm very rusty, and I don't really like doing the typical conventional style of street photography that everyone else does, which is kind of cookie cutter. I consider street photography just being out on the street. So now I don't complicate it any further than that, right? I know a lot of people have different opinions. They have different thoughts on that. Everyone's welcome to it, so feel free to disagree. For me, it's about just being out on the street and taking photos of things I find interesting. You know, when I reflect on the work I like to see, it's more about time capsules than it is anything else, right? It's like, hey, look at how people looked and what they wore, and look, this building isn't here anymore, or something like that, right? So for me, I approach it in a completely different way. But at the same time, I haven't done any sort of street photography in a while, so I was definitely rusty. Anyhow, we went out to the city, and I tried sticking mainly to the 28 and the 40. Just because they pack really well, they're small lenses, and they fit the ZF like a glove, you know. I did do a handful of photos with the 50mm, just couple portraits of Archie, but I didn't stay with the 50 for long. I went back to the 40 and back to the 28, just because I really wanted to see how they perform, you know. 50mm is such a common and classic focal length that it's something I'm familiar with. However, 40mm is a newer lens for me. I didn't get a 40mm until I got the ZF, you know, so last September. So I just really wanted to see how it would perform and feel, and I wanted to compare how it felt with the 28. And my idea was I would shoot with both lenses, and depending on how I was feeling, if I was leaning more towards one or the other, I would probably just stick with it. I ended up switching back and forth a little bit, but the majority of the day I did keep the 28mm lens on. And it's not that it performs better. I think I actually like the image quality off the 40 better, but the 28 just has something. I don't know. It's not the best lens. There's things that I don't like about it, but it has a little sauce somewhere in there, at least for me. I had my GoPro on top of the camera recording as much as I could, even though it kept dying and I kept forgetting to record. So there's tons of moments that I didn't get that I thought I was getting, but it's cool. It's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. One of the things I kept realizing that was happening to me was I would take a photo, turn around, and want to switch lenses. So I would switch lenses, take a new photo, turn around again, and decide I needed to switch back. So it was really getting annoying after a while, because I started getting dust in places I didn't want. New York City is a pretty dusty place. I have a rocket blower that I always have with me, but still, I wanted to minimize lens changes, just because I kept slowing down the flow of things, and I don't like doing that. Plus, it's just awkward to take your bag off, throw it on the ground in the middle of New York City, and start, you know, opening everything up. I definitely need a better bag for a street style photo. I did the majority of my photos with the 28 and with the 40. So together, I think they're an excellent pair and combo. For street photography, I think they're pretty much unmatched in convenience, portability, compactness, and just general image quality. I think it's fine. What I really enjoyed was just being out. Even though the ZF is kind of heavy, I think if it's too heavy for you, then maybe you should exercise a bit more. It's not that heavy. But it was a fun time. I had a great time out there. The 28 and the 40 deliver. They deliver, right? Is it amazing? Whoa, stop you dead in your tracks image quality? Probably not. Is it good enough? Absolutely, you know? And then when you figure sharing to social media or here on YouTube, they totally look good as well. So I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I've been out in New York City just walking around with my camera, seeing the sights, seeing the people, you know. I kept forgetting to take photos because I was just having fun, you know. Has it happened to anybody where you just realize you should be taking pictures, or are you guys also locked in that you don't have that problem? But one of the things I was noticing is I just couldn't get in the zone, but I kept wanting to go to the 40. And then every time I went to the 40, I kept feeling like I was missing context. Like I was missing edges, I was missing frame. So I'd go back to the 28. And then with the 28, I kept feeling like I'm not making my subjects obvious enough, and I'm not close enough. And I'm like, I was going through it, right? But eventually I settled into some semblance of a rhythm and just decided I was gonna stick to the 28 for the rest of the day, you know. So the majority of the images were taken with the 28, but the 28 mil is not a bad lens. I'm actually using it right now to record this talking head. So yeah, it definitely has a place for me in my kit. I like it for this type of thing. I like it for a lot of the photos I took, right? I think the real problem is New York City, or cities in general, lend themselves to wider focal length. So while the 28 mil was great, I wonder if the 26 or a 24 or even the 21.8 would have been slightly better in terms of inclusivity and the framing that maybe that's what I wanted, was wider. I don't know. What are my final thoughts on it? Well, I like this lens a lot. I wish it was weather sealed. I wish it was metal. I wish it had better coatings. And I wish it was like a little bit faster. You know, f2, 1.8, I think that would have made a bigger difference for me in terms of subject isolation. Because with the wider you are, the more everything's in focus. So just being able to kind of isolate my subjects a bit more dramatically might have made me feel better on the day, and I probably wouldn't have wanted to switch back and forth so much. But like, also, who cares, right? Like, it's all about getting out there, using your camera, having fun, seeing spaces, seeing faces, and going to new places, right? And I had a blast. That's all I know. The way I see it, if I walked away that day with one photo that I like, then it was a success. And I definitely have a few. So here they are. Tell me what you think. Which one of these photos is your favorite? New recipe is coming soon. This recipe that I'm making is a video focused recipe. So my intentions and ideas behind it is to kind of create like a in-camera look / LUT or something that reduces the needs for color grading and post-processing for video clips, right? I like using recipes for photos because sometimes for certain events and certain family obligations, or just in general, I don't want to edit files. So I like just using in-camera JPEGs whenever possible. And I would love to do the same thing with video. I think that would be pretty cool. But that was it. You know, I haven't really made a video in a few weeks here, so I just wanted to share a little bit of an update. I have been working on this new recipe. I have been shooting, and I plan to show more. So stay tuned for the next one. If you like this sort of thing, hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, and it would help support more content like this in the future. Thank you.